God. God.
Surprise, motherfucker!
GLUBTASTIC is a campaign in the L4D2 workshop. Playing it was probably the worst and best mistake I've made in my life so far. At first, I decided to go it alone and make a video about completing it alone, with bots. Unfortunately, I forgot how completely useless the bots are on custom maps. Regardless, I decided to try my hand at the worst map ever. It probably would have helped if I didn't play on expert difficulty. Glub Tower. First things first, you have to guess the correct doors in a maze, or be greeted by a less than pleasant surprise. Oh! Okay. Oh boy. Well, okay, we're down one. Once I was able to get past Trick or Treat Central, the tower would prove to be even worse. Inside the building is a room with 2 white doors and 1 brown door. The next jump would be the death of me. Literally. God. After a reset, I discovered that the rooms behind the white doors would also have 2 white doors and a brown door. The white doors, once again, had pain and suffering behind them as usual. Deciding I would not open the white doors again, I opted to open the brown doors. What's behind? Let me grab that. Alright, let's stop for a quick second. You see this little medkit right here? This little guy that we all love and appreciate. Look at the red and white beauty of the little guy that gives us more of the green stuff. Well, guess what? This isn't a medkit. You might be wondering, well, that looks like a medkit, but my dear viewer, I assure you, this is instead a trap for idiots like me. This button in disguise will spawn death behind you. No, no. Oh! And then, remember how I said the bots are useless? Oh boy, they decided to break when I needed them most. And so they were stuck in a corner and wouldn't pick me up off the... Now, I finally made it to the ladders. Oh, this part was smooth sailing for sure. There was nothing that was gonna... Remember how I said the bots are useless? So without anyone to help me with the boomer up at the top of the ladders on the middle section, I couldn't stop Carl Weezer from all over me and blinding me from seeing the Carl Weezer coming down to hit me and making me fall. So now, I needed some help, so I decided to call in an expert. A guy that's just kinda okay at games, I guess. Now in a dynamic duo with Connor, surely we would find success. How hard could it be? I mean, we survived Malevolon Creek and Sonic 06. Surely it would... I forgot to hit record. So skip to when I had Connor, Daniel, and Max in my troublesome adventure. Hey, you remember that medkit? I may or may not have decided to be an asshole and keep the trap a secret from them. Now that I got a daily dose of trolling my friends and I felt better, it was time for karma to hit me. So Connor and Max made it to the ladders, and they were going up the middle section when Max wasn't quite very lucky. After dealing with a few rogue SpongeBobs, Connor came up to a rescue door where he was able to get Daniel. Although the thing is, the door kind of flies off with a bunch of Rochelle models. And well, for our case, And despite Connor rescuing Daniel, they would also meet their demise, sending us back to the beginning of the level. At the top of the tower, there were these like little containers with the models for both of the groups of survivors. I don't quite really know. This probably could have been the part of the level with no casualties, but my dumb accidentally walked a little bit too far forward and made some tanks spawn, instantly killing Max. Sorry, Max. So the next level is Globo Coaster, which really there isn't all too much to it. You just have to go in a roller coaster and shoot some targets. But if you shoot the incorrect ones, it lights you on fire and spawns a tank. Yeah, you don't really miss very much if you skip it. Normally I would skip the transition, but I think it's funny that Daniel got the most zombies killed because he killed one zombie.
Thank you. I killed the most. Woohoo.
So, Glub Highway is the third level and is probably the worst of them. At first, it looks like a regular Left 4 Dead campaign, although the bench with medkits and weapons is outside the safe room. Once you reach a wall further forward with a door, you're taken to an open area with multiple roads. Occasional speeding cars will instantly down you if you're hit by them, really just guaranteeing your death because they can and usually do come back a second time. There are a few signs around that you can shoot, and they do various things, such as Nick saying, spawning chairs, spawning endless adrenaline shots, so this sign right here, it spawns 3 tanks per projectile, and each shotgun pellet acts as its own projectile. So shooting it with a shotgun is bad, and I think Max may have shot it with the shotgun. See, there was one at the end that made an explosion that killed Connor. We were at this for like half an hour, so I said, it. And so I popped in adrenaline and decided to just book it for the exit. If it wasn't for the adrenaline, I think the SpongeBobs would have caught up, but I had a surprise coming for me. A not so fun surprise. Needless to say, this was very annoying because I didn't want to go back to the beginning of the level. Until a bus of all things saved me. Just don't question how I didn't die. Anyway, the sign up here reveals the safe room door. I tried to cheese it with the tank because I really did not want to die, but my hand was forced and I just had to deal with him the old-fashioned way. Going around underneath was ballsy and I was risking everything, but luckily the tank hit me upward, so I was able to run to the safe room and escape. So thank goodness this level was over. I almost kind of feel like I'm forgetting something. Oh yeah! The best button and my transition into the next chapter. Glub's sewer hole is the 4th level and is not a contender for the worst, but is very annoying. From the safe room, the level is vertical and gravity is lower in the area. You have to use the low gravity to climb a bunch of cars on a highway. Though a helicopter will show up with smokers that spawn inside it and pull you off cars. We decided to make it easier on everyone and have at least one designated person to kill the smokers anytime they spawn. Also, there's this one spot where you can get stuck if you miss a jump. Yeah, that was annoying. Once you get past the vertical highway, you open a manhole cover which leads you to a tunnel with the most annoying parkour I've seen in my time gaming. Not only is the parkour more difficult than it looks, each platform makes a noise as well. Needless to say, this was pretty annoying far before we got a little under half an hour. This sped up clip right here is our entirety on this parkour section. It took us so long that 30 seconds is the quickest I can make it move without it being super choppy. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, this was the second time we were here for a long time. I was dead the first time because that was when I got stuck between the cars and asked Daniel to kill me. And would you take a guess on what's on the outside of this sewer? If you said a safe room, congratulations, it's more parkour, but with boats and wooden poles. Turns out Connor was far enough ahead of us that he's ended up spawning a boat that drives around and spawns a smoker to pull you off of the platforms. Oh yeah, and the best part, if you get pulled backwards and hit the water behind you, then, well, buddy, you get to do the previous section again. Once again, Connor the parkour master would reach the end of the section and spawn a metal grate for us to walk across. But this time, we were finally going to the safe room. The final glub is the last level of this campaign. Finally.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
We were gonna finish this map and end our torture. In the final glub, there's a big room with 3 big doors. We decided to open the door on the right first, but that didn't turn out so well. And of course, GLUBTASTIC being GLUBTASTIC, it wasn't really a surprise when there ended up being like 15 or 20 witches behind the door. I didn't get a good count. I started to get a good strategy with sitting on top of the water and letting the witches drown. But little did we know, there were quite a few tanks behind the witches. So I thought of all people, I'd probably be a little safe. But the tanks decided they didn't like my strategy. After we respawned, we decided to try out the middle door this time. Although we were met by a big ramp and a Spider-Man that was just shooting out adrenaline. But the ramp turned out to be a log fall. And if you don't know how log falls work, if you get hit by a log, you go down, and if you get hit again, you die. Most of us made it pretty far, but logs are pretty unpredictable.
Surprise, motherfucker!
And so now we had a nice little reset again. After we respawned, we decided this time to go with the door on the left. And it turned out to be the easiest door. Of course. So we had to do more parkour, but for once, something didn't instantly kill us on this map. You can probably piece together what our next half hour was, but now, getting to the end of any hall will teleport you upward. On the platforms above the halls are different carts with Left 4 Dead 1 survivors, minus Lewis, being left out of the group project as usual. And I guess this guy's girlfriend is Ashley from the Coffin of Andy and Lele. Okay, but jokes aside, I also want to give a pretty big thanks to Max because I was full well ready to get hit by a log, but then he came in with this amazing clutch revive. Oh, and it turned out that Connor was up here dying laughing because Daniel accidentally went too far up the ladders and ended up dying when landing on the platform. Oh, and the screaming is in-game, by the way. I did not add this in post. And there's the track, skin on her teeth. We're in the final stretch now, and we gotta get to the newly built helicopter. Though it's not really a far run. We just get there now. Either way, we can finally complete this campaign and save whatever is left of our sanity. It's really unfortunate that Daniel died at the last piece of the helicopter. Regardless, you want to see how long it took us to complete this campaign?
He's pulling his cock out!
Okay, but seriously, this map took 2 hours to beat. I don't care about the little death counters saying 0. If we had to restart 12 times, that means we all died at least 12 times. And here's the best part. You want to see how many zombies we killed throughout this 2-hour campaign? 1,349. Throughout the 2 hours and 12 restarts, we killed 1,349 zombies. You can expect to get that in a normal Left 4 Dead campaign, and you can usually do that within an hour or less on normal difficulty, which means the main threats on GLUBTASTIC aren't the common and special infected, they're the maps themselves.